Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing is the most famous quotation of Benjamin Franklin. However, it appears to be that his own life was embodiment of this very quotation. He is the best known as the only founding father who signed all three documents that freed America from Britain. Among his legacies, there are many books, many awards, and many national services that he has rendered. Even before the United States, there were exceptions who forged their own roads to success. Their population skyrocketed in the years after the American Revolution. Massive numbers of people traveled from all around the world to attend. The influx of immigrants showed no signs of slowing down. The standard bearer was and is undoubtedly Benjamin Franklin. To paraphrase one of his more recent biographies, he was the most talented American of his day and the most influential in constructing the sort of society America would be. The indestructible American spirit of creativity and just as importantly self invention that countries to almost immediately mark Americans apart from even today is shown through Franklin's life, not just his views. In 1705, Franklin joined his huge family in Boston as the 17th and last child. In his later years, he also became a successful scientist, inventor, diplomat, writer, and publisher in the United States. Incredibly, all of this was accomplished in a single lifetime. He established the University of Pennsylvania, invented bifocal glasses and a new kind of stove, popularized the concept of lending libraries, and established the first fire department in Philadelphia, among many other things. Aside from his military training, he had just the rudiments of an education. It was never completed, although his official education had included classroom teaching, self study, and informal learning from the others. His book, Poor Richard's Almanac, was the bestseller because of the helpful advice and the witty asides it included. Franklin seems to be at just about every event of the note. The concept of the United States owes somewhat to his thinking. He capitulated the British government's demands in an effort to stave off a war between the two countries. He gave up on his failed efforts and instead joined the revolutionary cause, fighting for freedom. As the American ambassador to France during the World War II, he played a critical role in winning over the French to the Allies. The rebels' chances of success would have been far lower without his collaboration. They would have been defeated, and the founding fathers, including Franklin, would have been tried as traitors and killed by the British. Franklin, then in his 70s and approaching the end of his life, was once again at the center of attention as the new nation achieved its independence. This time, steering the bickering delegates towards a new constitution. He called it a new order for the ages. Franklin single-handedly rescued the enterprise and restored the spirits of the delegates at a low time in the big Philadelphia debate on the nation's founding constitution by calling them to an uplifted prayer. After all, Franklin is the one who documented the subsequent events in writing, "A republic if you can preserve it," he joked. When asked about form of the government the meeting had established, Franklin thought America was a fantastic creation, a novel kind of government designed for novel types of people. According to Isaacson, Franklin created and constantly rebuilt the most thrilling thing of all. His book paints a wonderful picture of a guy who relished life's surprises and had a wide range of interest. Like himself, he was an internally restless soul who could never settle down. The underlying motivation behind whatever he did was to improve it, and he did it in a style that is, once again, very American. He did things like schedule a crew of people chopping woods to build a fort, investigate how locals hit fires, test the properties of electricity, and write up his findings. Every time he accomplished anything, he marked off the calendar a day. He reasoned that if he could be good for 7 days straight, he would eventually internalize that virtue. This trait would come to characterize him in later years. His life's results suggested it was effective. This guy exemplified the stereotypical American pioneer in every way. He was experienced, humble, and upbeat. People who found parallels between themselves and Benjamin Franklin were motivated to come to America. Not even the fact that they were from different nations could separate them. The degree of education didn't matter. It was everything about raw talent, practice, and good fortune. In the United States, you have and always will be to choose your own route professionally. Like Ben Franklin's writing style, he exemplifies the spirit of individualism and risk taking that is vital to the pursuit of American dream.